Hey, this is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanisms in a game called Bora Bora, designed by Stefan Feld years ago. This is an older game, older Euro game that I haven't played yet. Well, I hadn't played until recently, where I played a 3-player game and really enjoyed it. It's a really well put together game. There are 3 mechanisms in particular that I wanted to talk about today, and I'll start out with my favorite, which is this dice worker placement system. Dice action selection system almost. Although I would say worker placement because you're selecting spots that affect other players in this game. Every round you have 3 dice. You're going to roll those 3 dice, and when it's your turn, you're going to place one of those dice on an action. And here's the really cool thing about the dice. High numbers do cool things, as do low numbers. They both matter in this game. High numbers mean that you get better versions of these actions. All these actions are more powerful in general if you play a higher number. In fact, I would say universally, the higher number is great for the actions that you select. Makes those actions more powerful. An example of that, let's see if I can think of an example. So there are these people that you can select, these different people tiles that you can get, and they are each set up at the beginning of the round from 1 to 6 on here. And so if I use a 3 level die to get one of these tiles, I can only select from the 3, 2, or 1 tiles there. So if I play a 6 die there, I get my choice of any of the 6. Some of them are like that, where it just expands your range of choices. Some of them are literally more powerful, like you can move better spaces on the map, things like that. However, lower number dice are also good, especially for player interaction, and they can be a little bit mean, although it's not intentionally, like you rolled the dice, you didn't really control what you rolled, because you can only place dice on these spaces if they are lower than the numbers that are already there. And so, for example, on this space right here, the first player to place here placed that 3. And when they did, there actually is a rule that they broke here. I'll use this one. There's a rule that it can, or there's a way that you can break this rule. But over here, the first player who placed here placed that 6. The next player placed that 2, because 2 is less than 6. And when someone placed that 2, that meant that the only player who could also place there later could place a 1. They must place a 1 there, because that's the only number on the die, or the dice that's lower than 2. And so, say a couple players had wanted to go here, and they saw that I rolled the 2. I was playing red in this game. And if they were really paying attention, they might have been like, okay, Jamey is probably going to use that action this round. I rolled this 6, this really powerful die that I want to use somewhere, but I know Jamey has this 2, and this 1 over here, he has these low numbers. And so if I really want this action, I need to take it now before Jamey goes there, because I may not be able to get in anymore. If Jamey places that 2 there first, I won't be able to place my 6 on that action. So it adds to gives players a huge reason to pay attention to other players, and gives dice meaning whether you roll high or low numbers. That's number 1. Number 2, I think the scoring system is really clever. There are these tiles down here where you start out with 3 of these tiles, and at any given time you have 3 face-up tiles there. And at the end of each round, you get the chance to score one of them. They're goals that you're trying to complete, kind of personal achievements. And so let's see, this one says that I need to have at least 3 buildings. I believe that is on the center island. I need 3 buildings on the center island. And whether or not I've actually completed that goal, I have to score it at the end of the round, or I have to choose 1 to score. It's my 1 opportunity to score it, and then it goes away. It refills with another action. So you have limited number of chances to score these goals. But the really cool thing here that I like is that you choose the goal that you want to score that round. And so I have these 3 goals. They start off, at least at the beginning of the game, somewhat random. You have more agency over that during the game. But you can't score all 3 right away. You have to choose one of them. So you could completely ignore 2 of them in the first round and just go after one of them. You could even completely ignore all 3. You don't have to score it. It's a lot of points. You don't want to miss out on it, but you could ignore it if you wanted to. But I just love the flexibility there, where I have these goals, but the game is not telling me that I have to focus on this goal first, or this one, or that this one's worth more than that one. It's completely your choice to decide which one you want to prioritize at any time during the game. The last little thing that I thought was really clever in the game, can't see it very well, but there's this map over here where you're placing buildings on the map. And it's kind of a little king of the hill aspect of the game for each section. If you are the first to get to one of these territories, you get a little bonus. Anyone who goes there will get a little bonus. And however, the last player to go to a territory will score it for endgame points. So you're kind of trying to get there first to get resources that you want, and to score some of these goals that have to do with the different regions. But you're also kind of hoping to go last, so you get that end game scoring. But the little twist to it, which I like that, and the other little twist that I really like to it for it is that if I if I gain a building on a region where someone already is, they don't lose that building. It isn't destroyed. It isn't wiped off the map. Rather, they are just pushed off the endgame scoring space. I thought this was really, really clever in terms of kind of has this feel of area control, but in Eurogame style, where I'm hurting you a little bit, but I'm not destroying something that you've worked on. You still have control, or you still have presence in that territory, influence there. But you have lost the ability to score that territory for endgame scoring. I thought that was a nice twist for kind of area region control, King of the Hill, for a Euro-style game. Those are my three favorite mechanisms for Bora Bora. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you have a different favorite mechanism, or if any of these remind you of another game, let me know in the comments below. Thanks.